All right. So we have Hierophant. Sorry about that. Leo. Okay, let's see. We have Temperance coming up as your underlying energy this week. So this is, I mean, think about it. Temperance is moderation. It is balance. It's a level of peace. It's a level of harmony that's coming in. But it doesn't just automatically happen. People treat Temperance like it's the timeout card. It's like, you've been naughty, go be patient, go sit on the naughty step. It's not. That is not what Temperance is. It's actually a valuable experience. I always think, I mean, when I go through periods of Temperance, and trust me, when I first started reading the tarot, people asked me which cards I didn't like. Strange. The two cards that I didn't ever used to really like were the Hierophant and Temperance, and you got both of them in your reading. Why? Because Temperance is a pause. And I never like to be told to be patient, never like to be told about divine timing and that. Just point me in the direction, I'll go get it done, right? And that's not what Temperance is. And it took me a while to understand that about Temperance. This is a valuable experience. It's where we're getting ready to go for something. I always feel that we're getting ready to go for something. And it's about assessing what's there. I mean, what's the card that comes up before Temperance? This is number 14, right? So the card before Temperance is what? It's death. So this might have been when things have been removed from your life, and it's assessing what's left here. You know, have I been working too hard? Have I been playing too hard? It's assessing and getting your house in order. And out of doing that, I always get that line. You make the impossible possible by looking at what's there. You know, that's why you're divinely protected and guided in that you can pause and assess what's going on in your life and get your house in order before you move forward. How are you moving forward? Well, by doing this, you're moving forward as the Knight of Cups. Now, some of you might be dealing with a water sign, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But remember, the signs don't own the cards. They lend their characteristics. We also have Sagittarius here. We have Taurus here, and we have double Leo energy, or maybe an Aries or a Sagittarius as well. So with the Knight of Cups coming up, though, he is the dreamer. He's the dreamer. And sometimes he's called the delusional romantic. Someone left me a really amazing comment and I laughed at it because it's true. And someone said that, you know, I don't know if it was a Leo reading, but one of the readings, someone said, well, some of us are waiting for the delusional romantic. Well, if you're waiting for the delusional romantic, you know what to do, right? Be the delusional romantic. That's when you get in that vibration, then you will attract others of that vibration. But have a look at this guy. All he's focused on is how he feels, how he wants to feel. I mean, he's riding a bloody unicorn over a rainbow. That says it all. And sometimes, you know, he's told that he doesn't have the goods to back up what he's offering. He can promise you the sun, the moon, and the stars. Not that he's lying. It's because that would feel so good, right? If that was the case, wouldn't it feel so good? And he focuses on that. He focuses on how he wants to feel. And I kind of feel like as we go through life, the more experiences we have, you know, our heart breaks, or we lose the jobs, or, you know, we realize money isn't everything, whatever. We start off so hopeful as dreamers, and we become jaded and we become cynical. So to be the Knight of Cups is not actually to be foolish. It actually takes great courage and strength to be the Knight of Cups, because it takes courage to dream. I speak to so many people where I try to help them dream, right? Like, what's your dream? And they're afraid. People are afraid to dream. Why? Because I'm going to be so upset when my dream doesn't come true. You know, when my expectations aren't met. That's not what dreaming is. Dreaming is when you can sit in that. Have you ever, I mean, I usually do it when I'm sitting on the bus and I'll daydream about something, and it's almost like I'm off doing whatever it is. It's not whether it will happen or not. I just enjoy the dream of it. So for the kind of as a central energy, this is about what you're dreaming up. What's next? What's the big dream? And you know why you're able to do this now? And it kind of sounds like a feeble kind of message, but it isn't, because you have the King of Wands backing this. That's you. Whatever you were doing with Temperance, I mean, I think Temperance is not telling you to pause. It might be telling you to pause and dream, but I kind of feel like you're coming out of this period where you've been working on yourself. And I actually sent a Leo a message this morning. Someone had messaged me, and that's what I said. I said, I kind of feel like that's Aquarius and Leo have done hard labor while the nodes were in our signs, right? We did our hard labor, showing you who you are. North Node in your first house as a Leo, yeah, that's going to show you who you are. And the King of Wands, he's confident, he's entrepreneurial, he's inspired, he pursues his passions, he pursues his creativity. But if you think about it, If Temperance is all about balancing out, not too much work, not too much play, bringing everything together, whatever inspiration, you might have had some ideas in the past, you might have had some passions or something that you wanted to create, whether it's with a person, a job, a business, a hobby, whatever it is. It's mature, it's not naive. That's why I don't think the Knight of Cups is anything more than the dreamer energy. Because it is a king. Kings have reached mastery. So you have that confidence. I think this is a mature, inspired, passionate idea, whatever it is. And you might have wanted to take action on this, but you've not been able to because of this Temperance energy. Because it still needed kind of balancing out, right? Well, you've got the Eight of Pentacles coming up in your present. So you can actually start working on this now. And the Eight of Pentacles, I know it's the work card, but it's work that we don't mind doing. Why? Because it's leading to our long-term stability and security. For some of you, I kind of feel like this is something, it's not new. I think you were working on this before, but it got paused. But even that pause, if you think about it, it's allowed a kind of refreshing of the dream, a renewing of the dream, polishing the dream, like revisiting the dream. Why did I start this? Why was I inspired to do this in the first place? So I feel like you've been working on something yourself. It might have been, because remember, this is the foundation. Last week, last month, last year, doesn't matter. But the foundation is telling us you're solid in yourself. That's a great energy to have backing everything here. Are you ready to start putting work into this now? And I don't like the word work. And it comes, I guess it comes from school days, right? Where we told we had to do our homework. And it's always like, oh God, do I have to do that? Because we want to play, right? But work can be play. Take it from me. Work can be play. For someone who this is play for me every day, I get to come here and do this. It is play. When you love what you do and you do what you love, then it is like going in. It's amazing the things that you do. You're going to put in extra effort because you know where it's headed. You know you're building something. Because the Eight of Pentacles, it leads to the Ten of Pentacles. That's our legacy, right? Now, whatever it is that you've been putting work into, and I kind of feel like it's been kind of moderate because of Temperance sat above this. I don't feel like you've been able to go at the full speed that you've wanted to, or maybe you've not had the attention that you've wanted to. It's been kind of not slow and steady. That's more Knight of Pentacles, but kind of you've had your head down, you've been focused on it, you've been putting effort into this. And you'll know if this is your message because you know you've been doing that. Well, guess what? It's time to kick it up a notch. Strength tells me that. Why? Why is that? Because strength is sat underneath this Knight of Cups energy. Now, this could be someone coming in to offer you something. You could be making an offer to someone else. But it does feel like a dream come true. And like I said, it takes strength and courage to go for our dreams. Now, this isn't brute force. This isn't passionate displays. And the King of Wands, he can be guilty of that. I say guilty, but he takes action. But strength is about inner resilience. It's grace under fire. It's having the dignity to move forward, to face whatever needs to be faced with courage. But what are you facing? You're facing the dream. You're facing the dreamer part of yourself. So it does take courage to do this, but keep doing what you're doing. You are going to have the courage to make bold moves, to take bold steps. This is such a Leo reading. I mean, with the King of Wands here, and the Kings are the fixed signs. So the King of Wands is specifically Leo. Although in general readings, we do say Aries and Sagittarius as well. And this is the courage to go for something. And it just feels like the brakes are coming off. You've had the brakes on for a while and the brakes are coming off. And that could be, Temperance can be Sagittarius season. That's where it's kind of coming in there. Why did you have the brakes on? Maybe you lost supporters. Maybe you lost people from your inner circle. This can be friends, family members. I always see the 3 cups that have fallen over as the 3 of cups. Our inner circle, something that we've lost. Regret, missed opportunity. And it might be specifically that you missed out on an opportunity. That the focus was on you and becoming who you are and who you have become. That you missed out on something. This kind of feels, have a look at it. This very kind of solo venture, don't you think? Sat here by yourself, kind of measuring things out. You're dreaming the dream. This is you, King of Wands, sat on your throne, building your kingdom, getting ideas for what you want to do about your kingdom. You've got your head down. You're working away at something. And now you're the one that's got the strength. And I get it. It can be a lonely venture, right? But the 5 of Cups does say, all is not lost. All is not lost. That those 2 cups there, I always see that's the 2 of cups. That is support. That is someone who has your back, right? Why do you need, where does that come from? Where does this come from, where we understand that, all right, I might have missed out on that, I might have done whatever, where do I go? Well, it was clarified by the Hierophant. Now, I said this was also one of those cards that I didn't used to like when I first started learning the tarot, which was a very long time ago. The Hierophant, the thing I never liked about the Hierophant, it's because it talked about conformity. And I was a young, rebellious Aquarian, and the idea of conforming to anything, it was like, who conforms? But what I've understood is even the most non-conformist conforms to something. Everyone has their own idea of what is traditional. And that's the Hierophant. And if you have a look here, there's all these religious symbols, and it looks, you know, sometimes the Hierophant's called the Pope or the High Priest in some decks. This is our faith. And why do we have faith? It's because it brings stability to us. It brings support to us. I'm going to say this to you, Leo. You don't need anyone else. And I think that's one thing that if you went through this and you came out of it like shining like this, so, you know, being who you are, being the King of Wands, not the Page, not the Knight, but the King of Wands, then why do you need anyone else? And I think that's the realization. That's not to say there won't be anyone else. That's not to say that you have to do this on your own. But it's more about you shining. You shine as bright as you can, and your tribe will find you. They will come with you. Because the Hierophant can also indicate groups of people. You know, like if we're part of a church or a temple or an organization, you know, institutes of higher learning, the company that we work for. It's that you're not alone. There is support here. And it's almost like your faith gives you that. Now, this can also be a departure from what's traditional. That what the old Leo was doing, and I don't mean elderly, I mean as in the older version of you, the old version of you, there's a new you coming up. Stronger, more courageous, a new dream that you're going after. So the advice is have the faith to go for it. Doesn't matter what's been lost. All has not been lost. This is a new you, and your faith in it is your commitment to it. The Hierophant is a commitment card. And like I said, it can be a break from tradition, because the Hierophant can indicate, I don't know, like what our families told us, what our religious beliefs have told us, what society has told us. And everyone's always worked in the family business, Leo, you will too. And you're like, I don't think so. I missed an opportunity once because I tried to fit into that mold. I'm not doing it again. Or, you know, you can't marry someone from a different religion. Why not? I've put in so much work. I'm courageous. I can go forward. And, you know, with that 2 of Cups there, we might be looking at what's missing in someone, but not what is there, what the similarities are, what connects us. The 2 of Cups is always about what connects us, the similarities. Or society. You can't date someone from a different culture, or, you know, who that is like 10, 15 years older than you, whatever it is. This is not that. The King of Wands will not be told what to do. He follows his own passion and creativity. And I feel like it's been brewing inside of you, but you've had your head down working. Now it's about courageously going forward, taking those bold steps, because that's your dream. What is your dream, Leo? This is the week where you kind of think, I'm going for my dream. And it's interesting because, sorry, I feel like I'm going to cough. Hang on one second. Let me just grab some water. Sorry about that, Leo. Okay. Before I tell you what was interesting, I'm wondering if some of you are dealing with the Taurus, because usually that happens during the Taurus reading. And quite a few Taurus people comment and say, oh, Taurus rules the throat. And it's interesting that that's where the last week's readings, that's the only place I had a coughing fit. Didn't this time, but there you go. Okay, so what's interesting to me is this is very much the energy of that dreamer trying to create something new, going for something new, the inspiration, the creativity that's coming in. That's very 5th house. And you have a new moon that is taking place in your 5th house of Sagittarius. So go check that out if you guys haven't already. There's lots of great astrologers that are online on YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone that's been there with me. Whether this is the first video that you're ever watching of mine, or whether you've been there with me from before YouTube was even a thing in the Aquarian Insight world, because I've had my website for quite a few years now. Some of you followed me on there when that was all that I was doing. I'm so blessed that you guys are all a part of my journey, and totally and completely honored that you would make me and my messages a part of your journey. I never take that for granted. So I love you guys very much. I will see you next time, but that's all for now. Goodbye.